Hey guys, Andy here. So AmpHuman caught my eye actually reading a Zwift article about a guy in a kind of similar position to me, started as not a very good cyclist, is gradually working his way to be a better cyclist. And one of the things he sort of pointed out was just how useful AmpHuman had been to him. I thought, what's AmpHuman? I had not heard of it at all at this point, so I headed off into YouTube to find some reviews. And it seemed to be generally reviewed by, with all due respect, fairly small YouTubers, like with a few hundred subs. I think some of them might have had 2,000 or 3,000. And they were all generally saying, this thing is amazing. And I suppose my only thought, so I wasn't thinking that these YouTubers genuine. Well, I suppose I was really. I was just thinking, I mean, could they have been generated by AmpHuman and therefore they've got small subs and they've put all these videos out saying it's amazing? I don't know, wasn't sure. And then I saw actually that it was linked to a lot of big names. So Lance Armstrong has bought a portion of it. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But Geraint Thomas, like I listened to his podcast and actually having ordered it, I've heard it being advertised in there and he talks about it and his face is on their website and stuff. You know, he's clearly backs it. He says a lot of the guys use it. So I thought, well, the only way really to find out is to give it a go myself. So that's what we're doing today. I'll give you my thoughts on if it works or not. So maybe, first of all, I should try and explain what it does. Well, actually, I don't know. I'm not going to explain what it does because I'm not a chemist or a physicist or a biologist or whatever kind of scientist that could explain it, but it has bicarb in it. So bicarb basically stops the buildup of lactic acid, I think. So that sort of heavy feeling of the legs, that tightness after training is all to do with lactic acid building up in your muscles. And just, causing all kind of problems, making life uncomfortable. And AmpHuman, in theory, stops that. And it just means you can power on further. And some of the videos I watched, they're quite, I wouldn't call them scientific, but they did specific tests. So one person, I think, put it all on their right leg and didn't put any on their left leg. And they were saying that their right leg was giving 65% of the power later on in their workout. I mean, that's pretty impressive. So anyway, that's kind of the idea of it. That's what it does. So first of all, just talk about kind of the ordering process. You have to buy it online, I think. I don't think you can buy it anywhere else. The website was quite easy to use, quite well laid out. I like the different options of like either sort of bulk buying almost multiple bottles. You get a bit of a discount. They have single-use packets. I think they seem quite expensive for single use, but you could do that. So you could take some with you if you're traveling or if you're just take it with you on your ride, I suppose. There's loads of discount codes knocking about. So for example, Geraint Thomas, I think his was GTCC25, gets you 25% off. I heard that after I'd ordered mine, and I used a 15% code or something, because like I said, there are quite a lot of codes knocking around. So I paid $36.70, including £6.95 shipping. For 300 grams. So that's around £3.40 per use, because it says, I think it says 20 to 30 grams per use, which is what I tended to use. I got email straight away saying, yeah, we've got your order. I got email saying, yeah, we've shipped it. And then I think I ordered it Thursday night and it came Saturday, delivered by PDP. So generally, I would say the sort of ordering process went quite well. It was quite good. So the application, for the first time I used it, I literally weighed it out. So I think I squirted onto a little plate that I was weighing to make sure that I used roughly the right amount. So I used 26.5 grams the first time. The second time I didn't bother weighing, I just squirted onto my hands, and I think I did weigh the bottle afterwards just to see what I'd used, and it was 14 grams one time and 12 grams another. So, I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't use scales, but yeah, it seemed to be quite easy to work out. It's quite an odd substance. It's sort of a cross between a jelly and a cream almost. It's kind of weird. I think there's a slight menthol feel to it when you've rubbed it into your legs. No one else seemed to mention it, but in fact, they talk about another one that does have a menthol feel. There's a different product, Lactigo. But I thought this did have just a slight sort of coolness in my leg after I'd applied it. I also heard generally, again, when people are talking about Lactigo and the benefits of it, that AmpHuman, it's a right mess. It makes a right mess on your legs. And it leaves your legs all sticky for your whole ride and you get back in it. Well, no, I mean, I found that I rubbed it in for, I don't know, 20 to 30 seconds, just general kind of rubbing in type time. And then 10 minutes later, I mean, you wouldn't really tell. I mean, it was slight tackiness perhaps to my legs, but generally my legs were pretty dry. I could put my shorts on or whatever. And at the same time, so the first ride I did, I wore bib shorts, and my legs weren't any more mucky than they would have been off of any other ride, to be honest. So then I guess it's on to, does it work? And I'm going to hand over to myself after various different instances to discuss that. So I just got back from my first ride using AmpHuman. And if I kind of put some context to it, I suppose, yesterday morning I did 50 miles and I pushed it quite hard. My legs were aching for most of the evening. And then this morning was a 40-mile ride. Kind of 20 miles out to Spokes for a coffee and a cake, and then 20 miles back. And so I set off back from, about 12 miles out. I was thinking at one point, is this a bad idea? My legs, they don't feel good. I'm not sure I'm going to make it. This AmpHuman is not saving me in any way. I pushed on and I pushed through, and it was quite a long slog at that point as well. I stopped for my coffee and cake. Then I set off out, and about 2 miles in, I got a flat. So I changed that, and what amazed me actually was when I changed the flat, so I was about 20 minutes changing the flat, perhaps 15 minutes. And I was on a bit of an incline, kind of a mile-long, steady incline. And when I set off, having changed the flat, I was amazed how fresh my legs felt. Honestly, very surprised. And actually, from that point, pushing on, they felt pretty good. Now I'm back, I feel reasonably good. And I looked at the analysis of my Strava ride, and actually I could see the 6th and 7th, I think it was, laps, which are just 5-mile segments. You could see the power just kind of increases. It wasn't something I particularly tried to do. I think just my legs felt good, and I would not have expected that after yesterday where I pushed pretty hard. I mean, normally I wouldn't even bother trying to go out for 40 miles this morning, but I thought maybe it's a good test for AmpHuman. And I think I'm a believer now. I mean, obviously I need to do much more testing. This is the first time I've used it. I will use it again on some sort of workouts and see any kind of difference I might feel there. And I'll use it again for longer rides outside. But yeah, first ride, yeah, I'm quite impressed. So I've got one interval to go. A pretty tough training session, workout. 51 minutes in, 6 minutes to go, 7 minutes to go. Now the intensity factor for this session, slightly less than a couple I've done already. So I was interested to see how it felt with AmpHuman, because I feel like I've got a good measuring stick. And actually I lowered my FTP a little bit. Someone pointed out I was calculating my FTP wrong on a different video. And it could just be this session, but really hard, really hard. I don't feel like I've had any help from the AmpHuman at all, which is an interesting contrast to my long outdoor ride. But I mean, maybe I won't feel the DOMS, the muscle ache, so much through the day. That'll have to wait to be seen. But yeah, right now I'm thinking for training, for an hour-long training session, probably not worthwhile. So in that last sprint I had to do 540 watts, almost, well, about 180% of my FTP, and my quads were burning. It was only about 18 seconds of it, but yeah. I mean, I guess, you know, they're not claiming AmpHuman's magical, but I don't feel like it helped in today's workout. So I'm about 58 miles into the second ride using AmpHuman, and I'm a bit undecided on this one. I had another puncture at about the 36 mile point, and actually when I went again after 20 minutes changing the tyre, I felt pretty good again. I had quite a good bit of speed to my next stop, which was at the, I don't know, it was another 15 miles from that point, I suppose. I've just done 2 quite big climbs coming back. I'm sort of 7 miles out, and actually my legs, they don't feel too bad, but I did drop the gears down quite a bit. I didn't push it in any way. I'm not sure, so I'm not sure about today's ride. I think it'll be interesting this evening how my legs feel, perhaps, and I'll probably ride tomorrow morning, so it'll be interesting to see how that helps, I suppose. So the bottom line, does AmpHuman work? I think so. I think so, in certain use cases. So I don't think, well, it didn't help me during the actual workout. It was an hour-long workout. It was quite intense. Didn't help me. I started burning quads when it was on those hard points. What it did do, normally when I've had a pretty intense workout, my legs are quite stiff and ache for the rest of the day, sometimes the next morning. There was none of that. So today, it was this afternoon that I did my 65-mile ride, actually the 3rd longest ride I've ever done. And my legs, they have a weird feeling right now because they're not aching, they're not tight, so I don't feel like, you know, I've got into using my massage gun quite a lot actually, and I've been massaging a lot after rides and after training sessions, and I don't feel that I need to do that. But at the same time, they feel tired. So that lactic acid clearly hasn't built up in them, I don't think. But at the same time, you know, it's not a magic lotion. My legs are still pretty ruined, and I'm still really tired. And it's weird, of the outdoor rides, so unless you just want that lack of lactic acid build-up after workout, I wouldn't use, you know, a £3 or so per application. I wouldn't use it for a workout. I think I might well use it for longer rides. And even then, it's quite odd. So ride 1, I was a big believer after ride 1. I couldn't believe how good my legs felt in the second half of it. Today, there were a couple of times, it was kind of odd, almost random, that I just thought, oh, my legs feel quite good actually, and I'll be able to put a bit more power down. And then, I don't know, it was the last couple of climbs, I suppose, they didn't feel great. And I didn't really feel any better than I would have perhaps normally felt. But again, they're not stiff and aching now. So, I don't know. Will I buy another tube when this one's done? I'm not sure. I probably will. And I'll probably save. So I've got an 80-mile sportive coming up. This is the longest ride I've ever done at the beginning of April. So I probably will put quite a lot of AmpHuman on for that. Just I'll need any help I can get for that ride, I think. So I will get some more, but I don't know that it's the game changer that some of the videos made it out to be. I suppose I would love to hear, so that's kind of, I think that's my summary, I think that's where I am, that yeah, it sort of does work. I do have the Lactigo, which I'm going to be trying next, so look out for the video on that if you are interested in this. But I would love to hear your thoughts if you do use it, because they do say, I think there's a few of the comments are along the lines of, it works sometimes, it doesn't work others, or it works for some people and not for others. Which, I mean, in itself seems a little odd. But yeah, please do comment with your own experience, because that might help anyone else watching this video as well. Since I've not really been able to give a definite, yeah, you want this stuff, it's amazing. or not. So yeah, leave your comments. I do read them all, so please do comment. Please do hit that thumbs up button. If you're used to watching my tech videos, well, you've probably not made it this far if you have, but please do bear with me. I'm just enjoying doing some cycling stuff as well, to be honest. So that's it for now though. My name's Andy. I'll catch you all again soon.